How we doing today, people? So, got me a big old double shot of Sailor Jerry and Coke today. No bourbon. I haven't had rum in a long time, so I got some. It's really sweet. It's so sweet. So it's Sunday. I'm off. Um, and yesterday, always the update, right? Yesterday, I went out into the mountains and I went up to Lake Mary, which is in Brighton, Utah. Beautiful place, absolutely gorgeous. I might share a picture on the channel. I thought I did last night. Maybe I didn't. But so I've been thinking about this for a couple of days on like what my next video would be, and my mind was made up for me um, by constantly seeing things online that are just to me stupid. Um, and I'm trying to put it in words. Like I want to explain my side of stuff and my experience and why I think that the people that keep blaming the wrong things for all this stuff that's going on are just completely wrong and ignorant, and a lot of times just stupid. So we had the Charlie Kirk shooting. That was a young kid. Everybody's wondering, is this a conspiracy? Is this kid actually the shooter? Um, I don't know. It's come out that he's a pretty leftist kid. Thought Charlie Kirk was a fascist. Probably had a reason to shoot him because he was in the trans community. He wasn't trans, but he was with a trans partner. Played furry porn video games, and the thing is, engraved on the bullets or the rounds, shell casings, whatever you want to call it, not the round, but the shell casings, was a lot of like gamer culture stuff that even I didn't understand when I first saw it because I don't play. There's one thing from Helldivers 2, which is apparently a really great game, and it's designed after Starship Troopers, which is like one of my favorite movies. Ultra violent movie, ultra violent video game, right? So, um, this kid was heavily ingrained in the internet and probably never got out enough. So that's one thing. That's part of my point here. And then we had the guy that just was I think it was in Dallas a couple of days ago. Another shooting. A guy was sitting on a rooftop, sniper fire towards ICE agents, and hit detainees instead of ICE agents. I still don't know the full story on that, but killed a couple of people there. And people found his social media, and it looks like this kid was a communist supporting gamer and gun guy. Okay, this is starting to be a trend. So again today, just today, Sunday, at a Mormon church in Michigan, near Detroit, somebody shot and killed a few people at the Mormon church. I think he killed people. I think. And what I see in the comments, a lot of people. One comment was, "But our Second Amendment rights," and another one was, "Can we talk about the guns?" We've been talking about the guns. We've been talking about them. We keep adding new gun laws. We keep adding regulations that restrict law abiding citizens, but not criminals, because criminals are going to do what they want to do. So the whole thing, what do we have? Arena Zarutskia in Charlotte, North Carolina, was stabbed, fatally stabbed for nothing, just because she was white. And we know it was that because the guy was caught on audio saying he got the white girl. He just killed her because she was white. It's hard to start with how stupid the argument is that people keep blaming guns. So when the Charlie Kirk thing happened, I had to just cut ties with a friend that I've known for years because he started insulting me and my gun hobby and other gun owners in general. And I was just like, you know what, I don't want to talk to you anymore. So he was just, the argument was, it's guns, 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 guns. They think that these are just toys to us. They think that we have guns because we just want to play with them. They're fun. They're very fun. Unloaded, of course. Okay, I'm not waving my gun around in an apartment that's loaded. So They think that guns are just a toy for us. They're not. They're fun to shoot. They're fun to go out with. I go out at least once a month with guns. And I take whatever guns I tend to carry that season. I always take this one because this is my home defense pistol. I usually will take my AR and whatever pistol I am carrying the most that season. So I'm actually about to start going out with my 10 millimeter again because it's getting cooler. I'm going to go camping, bear country. So I take my 10 millimeter out to practice with it then, and it's fun. It's fun to shoot every time. It's always fun to shoot. But they're not toys. They're there. The Constitution says it literally right in writing, and it's been there for since 1776. Well, maybe not the Second Amendment came a little later, but it's not for hunting or fun just to have toys. It's to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. Look at Venezuela. What's happening there? Look at Nepal, which their government just got toppled. Those are reasons why we have guns. I forgot, some celebrity tweeted, I think it was George Takei, when Russia invaded Ukraine. He tweeted that all the AR-15s in the United States could really help those Ukrainians right about now. Well, and then somebody smartly commented under that, well, you just made the case for every American owning guns because we don't want to have no way to defend ourselves against a tyrannical government. And our country was built on gun culture. It is a problem, but it's a problem we have to mitigate as much as possible while not taking away the rights of gun owners who have some fucking decency and common sense and aren't murderous. So I mentioned this stuff in a previous video a couple times probably. So that's part of this video is people blaming guns. The other part is they're blaming gamers now because it's become a trend that these young idiot men are gamers who are chronically online. And I've said this before too. Online, you don't see the average opinion online because the average opinion is not controversial. You see the extreme opinions. You see the people that called Charlie Kirk a fascist. You see the people that just have horrible opinions. They hate everything. They hate this country. They hate all the people in the country that aren't exactly like them. But the average American, the people in the middle, which you probably got like 5% of the population is far left. 5% is probably far right. That's it. But those are the people you see all the time. Those are the people that are online. And if somebody is online all the time, they start to view the world as a horrible place. You don't get outside. You don't go touch grass. Every single weekend I go out. I go shooting. I go camping. I didn't go much last year. I go hiking. I do something outside. I go for a run at least once a week outside. I go outside. I don't stay online all the time. And I'm a millennial. That's our thing. We're always online. So they're blaming gamers and guns constantly. And I just sit here and I see these posts where something happens and it turns out it's either a shooting or it's a shooting by a gamer, and they link those two things and then they say video games are violent. There have been studies and studies and studies and studies for decades now, ever since freaking Mortal Kombat came out in the 90s. If you don't know, Mortal Kombat is the reason video games have a national rating system now. Like when you see the M for mature on a violent video game, like Mortal Kombat's the reason that happened because you were ripping people's spines out as a kid on the Super Nintendo. But ever since then, it's been video games are violent. They cause violence. They make young males violent. I've been playing GTA since the freaking first game on a CD on PlayStation. Okay, GTA is an ultra violent video game. It's also a satire about American culture. Not even made by people here in the United States, by the way. It's made by people in oh God, is it Scotland or Ireland or something like that? I can't remember. But that's just GTA is popular for a reason. It's a very amazing game, and the satire is just on point. It's always hilarious, and it's a really fun game to play. So they go after GTA a lot because it's controversial. They go after Mortal Kombat. And now they're starting to go after online multiplayer games because the one guy that was in Dallas, or No, was it Dallas? Yeah, the guy that was had the shooting in Dallas um, apparently was into survival games like DayZ or probably Escape from Tarkov. I don't play those games; they sound fun. I just don't. I'm not an online player, which again, that's why I don't know a lot of the gaming culture. I just play myself, like Um, but I don't know. I've been playing games all my life, and I have like super violent video games. Every game I have, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, every single game I have in my collection here is violent. Every one of them, even WWE 2K25, which is just pro wrestling. It's it's fighting. It's a little violent, a UFC game. But everything else is shooting. You shoot people, and I've been playing those games all my life. And I'm a combat veteran. I have a PTSD diagnosis. I've been to 2 wars. I am much more highly trained than any of the people that keep committing these horrible acts of violence and shooting people, assassinating people. I own guns, multiple kinds of guns, including an AR-15, which you've seen on the channel before. Um, it is safe to say I have the ability to do way worse than what these idiot kids are doing. And I probably play video games as much as they do. Maybe not as much, but at least close. I play almost every day. When I'm not at work, I come home, I might watch some TV, but typically I'm going to play some video games. That's how I relax. But now I don't play the same games that a lot of these kids are playing. I play single player RPG story driven games. That's my thing. Um, but the trend is that not only are they gamers, they're chronically online. You can tell they're on these online forums, on Reddit, seeing extreme opinions, becoming radicalized by other people online, not by gamers, but people that hate people. That's not the average person. So it genuinely gets on my nerves when people are like, "Oh, the guns in the games are the problem." They literally can't be the problem. They're inanimate objects. A game can't radicalize you. If a game could radicalize a person and make them become violent, you would see me on the news. I would be in jail, or I'd be a serial killer, or like the stuff I've done in video games. I literally last night I was just playing a game, literally called Hitman. Very popular game, amazing game, very very popular. But you literally assassinate people in that game in all kinds of gruesome ways. If that game could make me violent, then I would not be a free man. I would be on death row because I've been playing that for years and years and years too. So they don't do that. There's been studies that debunk that over and over and over. There's been studies that also say that guns are not the problem. It, it's an inanimate object. It can't do anything. It does nothing. It can't even. It won't even go off if you drop it. Guns aren't like that anymore. There are a lot of things that responsible gun owners could do to make sure that they're safer, and most of them do that. You know, um, but like I said before, we have more guns in this country than people. You're not going to get rid of them. Stop trying to whole ban gun things. That doesn't work. We're not going to get rid of them because people like me who never do anything heinous with a gun just for self defense is why I have it. You you put people like me in danger. You put the average American in danger because people who don't want to follow laws, who don't care about going to jail, or people who just want to hurt somebody are going to get the gun still. There's still going to be guns. You can ban guns. There's still going to be guns here. We just won't have them. The law abiding, mentally stable person won't have them. So what's the problem? It's fucking mental problem, mental health. That's the problem. And it always has been. It always has been. Timothy McVeigh bombed the Oklahoma City Federal Building, I think that was what it was called, in the 90s because he was, if I'm right, he was conservative and he was against the whole abortions and stuff like this. I can't remember all the whole story, but he bombed Oklahoma City Federal Building and killed tons of people with a bomb. World Trade Center got bombed. And this was all before AR-15s really became a thing and more people. people buy guns now because of criminals having guns. That's why people buy guns. Because when you see a shooting happen, people don't go out and buy guns. The trend used to be when a shooting or a school shooting happened or something like that, gun sales would skyrocket. They would spike. And sure, there's conservatives going out and buying guns, but a lot of that spike in gun sales was people who didn't have guns before because they see these crazy people doing crazy things and they're like, well, I need to have a way to protect myself. And that's smart. That's what you should do, is taking self-defense into your own hands, because the world is crazy. The world doesn't care about your laws. The world doesn't care about your empathy or your thoughts or your prayers. The world is evil, and it has been for all of eternity. It just has been. There will always be bad people. There will always be good people playing video games. There will always be people having guns, or good people having guns. There will always be bad people with guns. There will always be bad people playing video games. The thing is, the bad people are the problem, not the things they're doing or using, the tools they have, the media they consume. That's not the bad thing. The brain of these people is the problem. So it's becoming so prominent because people stay online all the time. They're always on social media. They see extreme opinions. They learn to hate the country. What I see these, especially leftists, hate the country more than everybody else because they are online all the time and they see everything that they don't like or that they don't agree with or they're not getting their way, and they start to believe that everyone's a fascist. They start to believe they're the victim. They start to believe this country is actually terrible. They start to believe that nothing good is here. They want to leave. They can't. They blame everybody else for their problems. And then you got a small, maybe less than 1% population of those people that already hate everything decide they're going to pick one of these up and go hurt somebody that isn't just like them. You can't tell me that the video game is the problem. You can't tell me that the gun is the problem, because if it was, you would see this 100 to 1,000 times more. It's always the person. People have mental health issues. People become radicalized by other people. Can I say it any more times than that? I don't think I can. So get out, touch grass. Touch grass, get outside. You see my hobbies on the wall here. I snowboard. I got my books, guitars, video game crap over there. I have hobbies. And even though I'm online a lot, I'm in the middle. I'm not conservative or liberal. I'm not Democrat, Republican. I'm not even really libertarian. Kind of close. And I have a PTSD diagnosis. I don't know if I mentioned that on this channel before, but I have a PTSD diagnosis from the military, from my time in war zones, actual war zones. And even I was surprised when I bought my first gun. I had guns given to me by my family that got looted during a hurricane. So I actually bought my first gun in 2022. That was the first time I actually bought a gun in Pennsylvania. I just walked in, said I want to buy a gun. I knew which one I wanted. It was the XDM Elite for camping that I have. And they said, okay, they did a background check. And in like 20 minutes, I walked out of there with a gun. I was actually surprised that it was that easy. Now, then because I have a PTSD diagnosis, I thought that would be on like a record somewhere or something like that. The thing is, I know I'm mentally stable. So I know a lot of gun owners aren't going to like me saying it, but I feel like that was a little too easy. But unless you have been proven to, I don't know how to word this the right way, but we've got to start looking at who shouldn't have guns or access to guns. I don't agree that everyone should have a gun, because look what happens. Bad people get guns legally and they go out and commit heinous crimes. There's got to be a way. The gun owner community, it's the 2A community, we got to agree with liberals on that side that everybody shouldn't have guns. like I said, I have a PTSD diagnosis, but I'm straight. You could do a psychological eval on me, and they would find. Actually, it's been done. When I went to get my VA disability check, which I do have a disability because of PTSD. The psychiatrist that talked to me said, "You are completely level-headed. You have PTSD. You do have triggers, and for that, we will pay you for life. So that's good. But I'm completely level-headed. My emotional regulation is peak, and it hasn't always been like that. That takes time. um, but yeah, I think if you have a mental illness like that, you should be evaluated and not just be able to get a gun. People, I know people aren't gonna like this. I think that you should allow the FBI to look at your social media and what you've posted before and the kind of forums that you might be in on Reddit. I do think that should happen. Um, it's just like we already have rules. If you've been committed or not committed, but convicted of domestic violence or a violent crime, or if you're a felon, crimes against children, you can't buy a gun just to give it to someone else or sell it to someone else. You can buy a gun and gift it in most states. Like you want to give it to a family member, you can do that as long as they can legally own it too, which means they can't be a felon. They can't be domestic violence or something like that. I do think we need a little more regulation on that end. I do agree with that. Whether it makes you mad or not, I don't care. If we had more regulation like that, if we were looking at mental health issues and also teaching people the value of human life instead of letting them, the parents now just let their kids on iPads. Gen Alpha is completely crippled. They can't read. They don't know how to do anything without AI. They ask AI everything. What do you think these people are going to be like when they don't know what the real world's like? They only know iPad. iPad is their world. Internet is their world. Extreme opinions is their world. What do you think Gen Alpha is going to be like when they get to uh, military age? Well, they're probably not going to join the military. They're going to get a hold of guns and they're going to do dumb shit. We got to fix this. I don't know how. But the answer is not banning guns. The answer is not blaming video games. The answer is not blaming inanimate objects. The answer is blaming internet culture and mental health issues. It's that simple. Very simple. I'll have a good one.